Good morning, or whatever it is to you, since this will be a video that I hope is played and watched many times a day. Marc Ginsburg'S daily viral video number. I'm just going to call it Marc Ginsburg'S daily viral video because I already lost count. I'd like to start by talking about Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Less about the differences between them than at the strategy. I've already spoken about the preference, just like I have the preference for a dynamic tension between government and business, and neither extreme on either side. I also have a preference for the dynamic tension between idealism and pragmatism. And for that reason, I think it's really important, and I support Bernie for wanting to stay in the race. One never knows. He might still come back, but it looks like it doesn't look good for him. But what's more important than him is what it's about. And I think by staying in the race and by bringing as many delegates to the convention as he can, in the platform, which is the traditional way that parties have operated, the ideas of basically the ideas of all the delegates are taken seriously, not just the ones who are supporting the front runner. I think that's been lost to a large degree. I think the fact that Hillary Clinton has embraced a lot of positions that in the past were solely Bernie's is already a sign of awareness and responsiveness to the change in the attitudes among Democratic voters. Of course, I applaud this because these are my ideals and I want to see them fought for. Of course, the bigger pragmatic reason to encourage Bernie to keep running and to be as supportive as possible to people who feel strongly both ways as much as you can. I found it really hard when a person is very much on one side of a debate, shall we call it, to find any desire for consensus in that person. But I also think people are intelligent and multifaceted, and I think even the most intransigent person on either side can see the wisdom of coming together and trying to move forward on the ideals, but in a very pragmatic way. Whatever you may think of Hillary Clinton and the compromises she makes and the shortcuts or whatever, the things she does that enable her to become more successful, I really have faith in and believe in the principles to which she devoted her life from a very young age, which is to fight for people and not for big corporations, and to use the power of corporations to help people. It's a how can I put it? It's something that President Obama, after he became president, saw the wisdom of, although I know I'll have many people disagreeing with me on this, in moving forward some of the legislation that he did. The irony of the whole thing is that now the Republicans are trying to take advantage of the anti-Obama sentiment on the left, the anti-government feeling, the anti-bailing out of Wall Street kind of thing that I still feel tremendously save the economy, no matter what you might think. And you're entitled to your opinion, and I respect it. It's sort of like, you know, there's different degrees of things, and I've always felt that the most effective way of helping the most people is more in the middle than on either extreme. But basically what I wanted to encourage through this is to support Bernie staying in the race, because there are people asking him to get out, and I just don't agree with that. I don't think that's the right position, or something that's actually going to be helpful, because I think if Bernie's supporters feel that he's being pushed out, they're crucial people we need. So that's basically my feeling about that. I'm obviously, like I think most Americans, a lot more optimistic and hopeful that the Democrats have and will find more unity at the end of the road at the convention. Obviously, as we look to the other side, I'm sure some of us can't help finding some glee in seeing the Republican Party so divided. And it's interesting to note that the Republicans love, like they have this Stop Trump movement. They love to block, because yesterday we saw them clearly blocking, trying to, well, they're probably going to be successful unless they change their tactic in blocking, what's his name, the nominee, Garland, President Obama's nominee to the Supreme Court. It's a foolish move, because I think a Democratic victory in the White House and in the Senate is quite likely. And Justice Garland may actually be their best pick. Senator McConnell's talking about the fact, you know, that he feels that the people should make the pick. But you know what happens when you say that the way the people decided in 2012 and in 2014, by the way, doesn't count? You're really saying people are that fickle and gullible and changeable. And that really is to insult people, because it's telling them that the decision you made in 2012 and the decision you made in 2014 doesn't count. And President Obama was right. The people made a choice in 2012 and elected him president. The people also made a choice in 2014 and elected a majority Republican-led Senate. So that's your opportunity. Probably in an up or down vote, you'd probably all vote against this guy, drag out the nomination and selection process, and at least that way you could say the will of the people that elected all of you in 2014 is being done. I think McConnell knows there probably would be a lot more political damage. Maybe they actually like this guy Garland because they feel that it would damage him if they were actually to consider him and then not confirm his appointment. But at any rate, what President Obama has famously labeled the party of no. I like to say the party of block, because it's quite interesting that whenever they don't like somebody or they don't like a process, they don't like their own positions on health care being crafted into the first almost universal health care law by a Democratic president in Congress. They supported those ideas in the past, and many of the nominations, many of the laws that President Obama, the bills, I should say, excuse me, himself introduced, they were ideas that Republicans had supported in the past. So the Republicans have obviously done so much shifting in their effort to completely block progressive, helpful ideas, economically sound ideas moving forward, that they've had to change who they were so many times. The end result, of course, became Donald Trump, and now they're trying to block him too. And it looks like they're being intransigent in this. I'm not going to say I don't see how they could come up with a victory in November with all this bloodletting, but who knows? America is kind of in a crazy state. People are hurting. People are suffering. And this is something that they feel nobody's adequately addressed. So where the Republican establishment feels their support is